Spiritual Oasis in the Desert of Maya, Chapter 1. The profound mercy and grace of God is manifested in the existence of life-giving natural water springs, and the associated greenery and throbbing life amidst the otherwise burning sand dunes of deserts. These beautiful spots, called oases, provide to the caravans of travelers rest, relief, and solace during their dreary and gruesome journeys through the vast expanse of barren, desolate, and burning desert. These deserts extend to thousands of miles, where nothing but sand dunes are visible all around the horizon. These sand dunes change or shift from place to place with strong winds which carry the sand. Hence, there can be no demarcation in this vast expanse of desert, as footmarks or paths are immediately covered by the blowing sand. People travel over these signless deserts in caravans with the help of guides or by their own inherent instincts. During the day, the sandy expanse is heated by the scorching sun, making it a veritable vast oven. If one is lost in these desolate deserts, he suffers from the agonies of the scorching sun and would die of thirst and hunger. These deserts are so barren, desolate with scorching heat that no life can exist there. These deserts and oases belong to the earthly physical plane. They are symbolic of the inner desert and oases on the subtle planes of our consciousness. Both are blessings of God for his children at different planes. The physical oases are needed to save human beings from the misery of hot, sandy deserts and are only a transient relief and refuge. On the other hand, the spiritual oases are the effulgence and grace of divinity pervading and engulfing the consciousness of awakened and enlightened souls. They are the imminent blessings of God to save humanity from the dreary, desolate, and burning desert of elusive Maya. Human mind is unconsciously and insistently weaving and shaping his own good or bad world within and around himself by his own thoughts and deeds. Every thought, good or bad, that emanates from the mind sends subtle vibrations all over the universe through electrons, which are registered in the infinite, perfect, universal computer of ether. Thus, billions of thoughts emanating every moment from the minds of the whole universe are being registered and processed by the universal computer. The cycles and wavelengths of various degrees of subtle vibrations of our thoughts and deeds, good or bad, accumulate and shape the subtle environment of universal mind, which reflect in and condition the world around us. In the subtle mental process, our thoughts and faith have profound influence in directly shaping our character, fate, and destiny, indirectly molding and modifying the subtle environment of the universe, recoiling on the whole humanity collectively. In fact, every thought is a dynamic seed which sprouts in the mind, flourishes in the mental world, and engulfs the entire universe. These cumulative thoughts change the environment of the entire world and thereby make our collective social lives happy or miserable. In other words, the environment or circumstances of the world are conditioned by and dependent on the kind of our thoughts, conceptions, and faith. As you think, so you become. This world, good or bad, is the outcome of our own individual and collective thinking and faith. God created a heaven on earth for his children to live in and enjoy it. But we, the prodigal sons, have turned it into a hell-like vicious rendezvous, or dry, dreary, desolate, burning desert with our wrong and depraved thoughts. These perverted thoughts and misconceptions have degenerated our moral values and social life as well. This explains the tense and vicious atmosphere and environment of selfishness, deceit, injustice, corruption, pride, envy, prejudice, avarice, hatred, aggrandizement, wickedness, sensuality, jealousy, unrest, strife, violence, cruelty, and wars pervading all over the world. These vices have ignited various kinds of desire, greed, lust, anger, attachment, and ego in our consciousness. In our incessant efforts to satisfy and fulfill these fleeting egoistic and sensual desires, we are unconsciously adding more fuel to our self-ignited bonfires within, which makes our lives dry, dreary, unhappy, miserable, desolate, and hellish. We have developed and projected our tastes, fancies, desires, luxuries to the extreme degree of refinement. These refined tastes and desires have become an obsession with us, and we have practically become slaves of the ghost of unending desires and ambitions. When we try to fulfill one desire, more desires crop up. Most of our attention, energy, time, and money is spent or wasted in the pursuit of these unnecessary, harmful, ever-increasing, unending, baser desires. Consequently, no time or energy is left for us to pay any attention to sublimer aspects of life. These desires drive us to extreme and desperate means for their fulfillment, where we lose all sense of morality, ethics, logic, reasoning, or discrimination between good or bad, fair or unfair, virtue or vice, just or unjust, legal or illegal. With such corrupt and polluted mentality, we are involved in all sorts of problems, controversies, quarrels, violence, enmity, which enhance our restlessness, miseries, unhappiness, frustrations to make our lives a veritable dry, dreary, barren, desolate, burning, agonizing desert or hell.